Yeah, yeah. Fresh out the cell with a plan and a boo. Anklet beeping, but my heart's beating for you. Let's go. Met her on a prison pen pal site. She said you cute even in that orange light. Now I'm home and I'm free, kinda on probation. She picked me up in a Prius, pure elation. Got a teardrop tat and a heart full of dreams. She brought cupcakes and some government cheese. I said, girl, you a snack, maybe even a feast. She said, you just hungry cause you live with the beast. Love after lockup, wild and free. Got no keys, but she got the key to me. From yard time to FaceTime, look at us glow. From prison phone calls to reality show. Love after lockup, we don't play. Tinder got nothing on JPay. I did my time, now I'm doing hers. Doing laundry and love, both in spurts.
Hello and welcome back to another episode of Love After Lockup, Lockdown, where we are covering Season 2, Episode 14. As always, you can find us in our Facebook group at Love After Lockup, Lockdown, or on Instagram at LALU Lockdown. I'm Jennifer.
And I'm Lisa.
And this week we are covering Season 2, Episode 14, Prison Blues to Wedding Bells, and it is our season finale. Lisa, how are you?
I'm doing really good. How are you?
I am excellent.
So I have another gross story for you.
A gross story?
Yeah. I told you the story and the story about the maggots, right? So now I have a fly story for you. So I don't mean to make the whole world vomit, but our dogs are used to being able to go out at least within 8 hours. But now they've got to hold it for 10. So the one day, don't know how long ago it was, but Bandit pooped in the kitchen. And I was still at work and Dave came home and he walked in the house and he slipped and pooped. And he was like, the whole house, not the whole house, but exaggeration, was like flies because they were coming in the bottom of the window through the crack for the poop that Bandit laid in the kitchen. So there was flies all over the place. When I called him on my way home from work, he's like, I'm killing flies. I slipped and poop. And he's like, there's flies everywhere. And we had to put up fly strips and stuff. And then he had to seal the window so that the flies couldn't get in case the dogs went to the bathroom in the kitchen. And it hasn't happened again. Bandit pooped again, and there were no flies the second time. It's like I feel bad because no dog should ever have to go 10 hours without going to the bathroom. But what's your choices? You're like a working family. How do you can't do anything about it? And if flies sneak into the house, what are you gonna do? But we didn't know. We didn't know that the flies had an entry route into the house.
I guess at least you got it sealed.
Well, yeah, but he was going crazy trying to figure out where the hell the flies were getting in from. And then he realized that it was from the crack in the kitchen window. And he's jamming paper towel in there to just try to not have flies come in the house because they were just so we are on our guess must be that Bandit went to the bathroom somewhere in the beginning of the day, and it sat and it sat and it sat, and then the flies got attracted to the scent from the outside. And so yeah, two gross moments. And
Well, I am so not pleased you shared that with us.
but I mean, it's a part of life when you have animals. But again, I'll express the fact that yes, our house is very clean. But
That is
we have
true. It is
animals.
very clean.
We have animals and we have garbage and shit happens.
So this is the season finale, and they start us off with Brittany and Marcelino. And Brittany is going to meet Amanda to talk. And this goes against everything we would suggest for her.
Yeah. Brittany said she's super pregnant, and Amanda is like, why haven't you told me? So apparently Amanda does not know that Brittany is very pregnant.
So they haven't talked. I mean, that would indicate they haven't talked in a while.
Yeah. which is good. Which is good.
Yeah, man, they show Amanda and she's doing her makeup and she says she had no idea what happened at Marcelino's birthday party. I think
Mm-hmm.
it's probably better to just move on from that.
Yeah. Brittany feels like Amanda is in complete denial. And yeah, she is.
Well,
Mm-hmm.
she is. Amanda says all the things that Brittany told her in prison weren't true. She
Yeah.
told you that at the time, and I think at the time that was probably true. I don't know.
Full disclaimer here that I have had a conversation with one of my children at some point where as I had a problem with them dating a person who was bisexual because my opinion is yes, you're bisexual, but you're going to steer more towards one than the other. Correct me if I'm wrong. Go
I don't
ahead
think that's
and
necessarily true. I think
but,
people just have open options.
sometimes, I don't know. Throw it in the Facebook group, whatever, email us, I don't care. But I'm always like, you know, like liking both, picking one or the I don't know. I mean it's I don't know. There's a fine line. Yeah.
Brittany says their conversation is awkward, and I would imagine so. Amanda feels like Brittany has to be with Marcelino just because she's pregnant. I
Mhm.
think that she's choosing to be with Marcelino because she wants to be with him.
Yeah, I don't think it has anything to do with her being pregnant because she didn't get pregnant until she was out of prison because they didn't have sex until she was out of prison.
Right.
So that's not valid at all.
Next, we jump to Scott and Lizzie, and she's been trying to call him, and he's been ignoring her. It's about time.
Yeah.
She goes into his room and wakes him up, and he tells her to leave him alone.
Yeah, for the first time, he's being this is the first time we see Scott being nasty to her
Right.
this entire time. Yeah, he's fucking had it. It took a week, but he's had it. He's had it.
He found out about the $2,000.
Yeah, yeah. He says he's not okay. He looked at his credit card statement and he sees what she spent. He said he's fucked up and he wishes he could take it all back.
Right. He finally tells her he's completely broke. The thing that makes me mad, but that she always does, is she plays dumb. And she's like, oh, it's only money.
Yeah, yeah.
And then she's like, just to clarify, you're not going to help me out?
Yeah,
Just to
you don't have
clarify.
money to help me out.
Mhm.
Yeah. She's a terrible human. Oh, she says, if you don't have the money, I don't need you. And at that moment, I wanted to reach through the screen and I don't know who I wanted to strangle more, him or her.
But she makes him look her in the eye before she says that to him. So she makes him look her straight in the eye and then says, if you're not going to help me, I don't have any use for you.
Yep. She's like, you have no money. Oh, she's such a piece of freaking crap, man.
Well over a
Lizzie says,
$100,000 in.
yep. Lizzie says I'm done. I think it's more than $100,000 because of the car and everything now. I think we're over that.
She says she doesn't need him and she walks out. And,
Yeah.
it's early in the episode, so I don't think that's where we end with this. But we
No.
jump over to Caitlin and Matt, and she's with his mom prepping for his hearing.
Yeah, so it's going to be on video.
His mom says she's disappointed, but she's not shocked by any of this.
Oh yeah, no, we knew from the beginning. She warned Caitlin. She basically told her in a nutshell that he's uh, gonna go back to prison. He's a lifer, pretty much. And so she decided to go back to. She says she decided to go back to Kathy's to deal with it. So they're doing this kind of combined. So I don't know whether Caitlin's still in the hotel. I don't know. I don't know. We know she's not staying with her mom because her mom's deceased.
Right. They have a video visit, and he says he's going to get bail 100%. And she's like, well, I mean, okay, but what if you don't? He's like, I'm going to, and just
Yeah.
blows up at her.
Yeah, mom's just like, oh, well, here we go again. He'll either get bail or he won't. And Matt's so sure he's going to get bail.
She says she's not sure if she's going to bail him out. And I think that would depend on how much money it costs and if that's something she's able to raise.
100%. It's about the amount. It's totally about the amount, whether she can or whether she can't.
I think Matt's colors really show through, though. I mean, he wants her to bail him out, but then in the next breath, he tells her to have a good day, and then he just hangs up on her.
Yeah. Yeah, I forget if he hangs up on her with the video chat or with just a voice call, but he hangs up on her.
Next, we're at Clint and Tracy. 4 weeks ago, at this point, she broke up with him over the phone, but she called and apologized, and now they're back together.
Yeah. So she's being released and he needs to go pick her up. And he says if she messes up again, she's gone. Do we believe this?
No,
Probably not. She's being released because the prison is overcrowded. So she basically got lucky. That's it.
right, right.
She just got lucky.
And she gets out and she gets on like a Greyhound type of bus, and she is so skinny. And I feel like her excuse, it doesn't go with it. She has to be using. She has to be.
Yes. Do you see me shaking my head? She is on the correct diet. There is no way that she is just losing that amount of weight because the food is terrible.
That's a substantial amount of weight to lose.
Oh, she's super skinny, super skinny. She was, I'm gonna say about 180 when he first picked her up,
You think
and
so?
she's got to be like 115, 120, one
That
max, because I don't think she's a short woman.
Yeah, I would say that could be. I mean, it depends on a few
Yeah,
factors, but yeah. So the
yeah.
reason that she went to jail was because she didn't report for parole, and she was jailed on a violation. And I think this might be where we were talking about last time, is she was in jail and they let her out. Now if they let her out, whereas she had to go report somewhere and then she didn't report, that would explain the second time she was arrested.
I don't know.
She's upset that she's still wearing her prison clothes, and
Yeah, I wrote prison pants.
she changes her clothes like in her seat on the Greyhound. She doesn't go to the bathroom or whatever. I mean, she changes like right there in her seat.
There are, as far as I know, there are most Greyhounds bathrooms
I think
because
so.
usually, yeah, I think so, because you usually take a Greyhound for a longer trip. But she says she is 40 pounds lighter. And I don't remember how long she's been in prison, but the amount of time it would take to lose 40 pounds with the short amount of time, we know she wasn't in prison for a long time. She'd have to basically be starving.
She's eating something else.
Yeah.
She's afraid he's not going to show up, but she gets off the bus and she's just
Oh,
standing there on the side of the road waiting for him. I would guess that she probably does wonder if he's going to show up. You know what I mean? Of course, we know he's going to because he's
yeah.
always going to, but I can see why she would be like, because she did end it with him at least one time, if not more.
Yeah. Yeah, here's the thing. Yeah, again, like you said, we know he's showing up. We know he's showing up. She doesn't know he's showing up. But
Right.
yeah. Hmm.
Next, we jump over to Brittany and Marcelino, and she is riding with her friends and her sisters. She has four sisters who are much younger.
They looked a lot like her, though I could totally tell that those were her sisters.
Now, she was 12 when she ran away, and because of that, she never really bonded with her sisters because there's such an
Yeah.
age gap between them.
Yeah. Um I was kind of a little bit surprised. I didn't realize that the wedding was happening this quickly and that they were kind of like doing like I don't know, I mean like they live in Vegas and it's like you can easily get married there in like a couple hours. You can just be like, I want to get married and get married. But I didn't realize it was happening that quick. And they're just basically at their wedding venue. And Marcelino's brother is in from Florida, and then a cousin named and someone named Gabriel, or I don't know if the cousin's name was Gabriel, but yeah, we're in it.
Yeah, she talks about trying to get your hair cut in prison, and she has Sasha as her bridesmaid, but Amanda is a guest. They invited her to the wedding.
Why? Why, man? Why? Yeah, they show Amanda getting her hair done. Ugh, I don't know.
Sasha says this was a quick wedding. Well, she is in agreement with you. Last time that Brittany saw her father, she was 5 years old. And her mom married her stepdad when she was 7.
Hmm. Yeah, so basically, her stepdad is who she has known as her father, and he will be the one who is walking her down the aisle and
Right.
acting as if he or her, because it's the only person she's really known.
Now, both of her parents were alcoholics, but she wants to have a relationship with them regardless of the past. And, she references that this is kind of the reason why she ran away at 12. She ran off because her parents were alcoholics and things were so bad at home.
Yeah, but the dad looks really emotional and really connected. So
Yeah.
he believe he fully accepts her as his daughter.
I feel like you can be an addict and obviously still love people. It's just what the addiction takes away from
Hmm.
people's ability. Her stepdad comes in to talk to her alone, and he tells the camera he thought things with Marcelino were going to end badly,
Wow.
but he tells her that he's really proud of her and he loves her. So,
I didn't catch that.
back to Megan, Michael, and Sarah. Sarah is on her way to confront Megan, and they're running back through what happened in the last scene. The producer asks Megan if she wants to talk to Sarah, and she's like, hey, Sarah goes, hey, I just want to tell Megan that I'm Michael's wife.
Yep, not just the baby mama. So the producers talk to Megan. This is a whole big ordeal. They tell her that Sarah wants to talk to her and tell her the truth. And she says she wants the truth, but I'm kind of getting pissed at Megan at this point. I don't know about you.
Because
She's acting, she's acting too sassy. Yeah, I don't know.
I feel like she's overwhelmed by the whole situation and in a panic. I mean, she thought she was engaged to this man. She thought she was moving to New York and she was going to get
Yeah.
an apartment and she was going to get a job. And all of a sudden, not only is her fiance married, but she's pregnant and everything he's told her is a lie. I
Yeah.
think she's got big feelings going on.
Yeah, I just don't like her sassiness and all this. I just I don't care for it. I think that there was a better way to be than that. I was really disappointed. Sarah basically is like, "What do you think I am?" Like she like lays it out there like, "What do you think I am?" And then Sarah basically tells Megan, "I'm pregnant with his child and we're married."
Exactly.
Hmm.
Next, we jump into Brittany and Marcelino for a moment, and he is almost done getting ready, and little Gio is in a tux and looks absolutely adorable.
Yeah, it's so cute because Giovanni is like feeling Marcelino's head. And he's his job is to carry the rings. I thought it was so cute. He's a cute little boy.
He is a super cute little boy, and he says he's so excited to be the ring bearer.
Yeah.
And then Giovanni says he can't wait to meet his little sister.
Aw, yeah. And he's a sister and they don't know it's a girl, which is freaky because if it's a girl and we don't know, that is fucked.
I thought they did know.
But kids know, no, they don't know. Kids like know weird shit. So Marcelino is asking Giovanni to show him his moves and he's dancing and then he hugs and kisses Giovanni and that's so cute. And like I feel like at that point, like that just goes to show like it takes a lot to want to hug and kiss a child that's not yours. You know what I
Oh, yeah.
mean? Like that was adorable.
So, this episode, we jump to little snippets of a lot. Next, we jump right back over to Megan, Michael, and Sarah. And Megan is still claiming that Michael cheated on her.
I have to laugh at that. I'm sorry.
And I guess this is kind of the sassiness you were talking about because Megan tells
Oh,
Sarah that she's immature.
I wanted to kill Megan this is where I wanted to kill Megan. Like, I'm just like, man, what the fuck? You know, like, oh,
Sarah tells her she got played, and then she leaves and says, I just want Megan to go home.
yeah. Sarah's like basically like, that car you were in, that's my car. That's my Chrysler 300. Like
Right.
basically like bitch, this is my life. This is all mine. And
Yeah.
like he's been in jail. He has nothing. This is all mine.
Next, we're back to Scott and Lizzie, and she is 10 days out at this point, and she's telling Jasmine that Scott has no money. Jasmine
Yeah.
tells her that Scott was a trick, regardless of what she says, and she's absolutely right.
Oh, she's so, I don't know, Lizzie's so freaking disgusting. We knew, but she's so disgusting in this particular episode.
This particular thing that she says here is so disgusting. She says
Hmm.
she feels like the trick because he lied to her. Are you kidding me?
Yeah. Yeah.
Sit
Yep.
the fuck down.
Wrote that down in big caps. Yep. Yep. He's not the man he said he was. Okay. 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 I agree. Here's where we're torn. Scott was representing himself as something that he wasn't, fully knowing that Lizzie wanted a sugar daddy at 40 something years old. but, but, oh,
She tells Jasmine that she's done with him, and Jasmine says that neither of them ever loved each other. And I agree
yeah,
with that. He was obsessed with
yeah,
her, and she was using him.
yes. Obsession is not love. Obsession is not love.
Lizzie tells the camera that she loves Scott and she thought he was the one, and I don't believe that for a second. Now
No,
she's trying to backpedal so she doesn't look like she used him as much. I don't know why. At this point, she suddenly cares.
that was the biggest eye rolling moment ever in the history of ever.
So she's on her way to his room to talk to him and says she hopes it goes well. So what? You can tell him that it's over? Come on.
Yeah. Well, we know we're only a week in here, so
Right.
no one's
10
lost a lot of
days.
time. We're 10 days in.
10 days in. Caitlin and Matt, and she is going with his mom to the hearing. She says that she is barely hanging on and she has a lot of anxiety. And I mean, this is all for, as far as we can tell, right on top of when her mom died.
Yeah, but you know what? Caitlyn, before her mom died, this is a woman, and I can see it, who has been riddled with anxiety her whole life. Like she's she's a ball of freaking nerves all the time, at every moment. They're at Matt's trial, and the bail is set at $25,000. And even if she were to get a bail bondsman at $25,000, she couldn't afford that.
Right. She thinks he'll be denied bail based on his history of 10 plus
Yeah.
felonies, including
Yeah.
escape with 15 failure to appear.
Nuts. I'm surprised. I literally am surprised he got bail, and then honestly the amount that he wound up with, which was ultimately $7,500. And Caitlin has to come up with 10% because that's how it works when a bail bondsman decides to take you on.
So she just has to come up with $750 to get him out.
Yeah. Hmm.
But his mom, Kathy, says bail is only the first step, and he's still going to be sentenced for his crime. So
Oh,
the bail just gets him out until that point.
yeah. I'm honestly shocked that a bail bondsman took this because knowing his history, I'm a little shocked. I'm kind of thinking, and this is the way I always think is like, this is a TV show, movie magic, Lost Folder, whatever, that they may have done something where like they forced the bail bondsman to be like, yeah, take this case, we'll give you whatever. But I mean, I don't know, with his history, I'm really shocked that a bondsman would take this.
Yeah, I don't understand it.
Yeah.
Kathy asks what she's going to do, and she says she's going to bail him out. But she's like, "What do you think's going to happen?" And Kathy's like, "I don't know. I've never bailed him out. I'm not that stupid."
Yeah. Oh, I was like, "Yes, mom, you've never bailed him out?" What did you get were you like that too? Like, oh my God, like I would have thought it was like Clint's mom, like like, but she's never bailed him out.
I never got the vibe that she would bail him out. She seems so
No?
over his bullshit. Yeah, no, I
Oh,
wasn't surprised when she said she hadn't bailed him out. She even tells Caitlin that she should be concerned about Matt's level of commitment because they fight constantly. And now instead of Clint's mom asking him, Kathy's asking Caitlin. She's like, "When is enough going to be enough? What has to happen before you're going to move on?"
isn't it funny though? Like you have a mom of the person going, listen, and she's been telling her from the beginning, look, like this is not going to work. This is going to be a problem. This is my son, but he is a problem and it's not going to go well.
Right. Caitlin says she's afraid that she'll bail him out and he'll run, and that's a real possibility.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Back to Megan, Michael, and Sarah and Megan are still arguing. But Sarah tells her that she's the side bitch. Megan says, "Hey, nobody told me. I had no idea you even existed."
She's like, I'm not the side bitch. I didn't know about you. You did, but you did. You knew he had a baby mama. You just didn't know he was married to her.
To be fair, he played their relationship to be just
Oh,
a mother-father relationship.
yes.
So, I mean, the blame lies on Michael.
Oh, yeah.
I don't think Megan should have known that Sarah existed. That's crazy.
I just don't care for Megan in this moment. I don't care for her towards the end. But like right now, I'm like, you're. She's leaving a bad taste in my mouth.
So Sarah starts to walk away, but then she turns around and accuses Megan of being racist. And Megan's like, that has nothing to do. Like, it has nothing to do with race and
Hmm.
everything to do with class.
I raised this question a while ago about with the mom and the family, whether or not they were humoring Michael's relationship with Megan because Megan's black and Sarah's white. I
Well,
don't
Sarah
know.
accused Megan of being racist.
Yeah, that's what I mean. It's just like Megan kind of being like, "Well, I'm black. I belong more with his
I don't think
family's
that his
people."
family feels that way at all.
You know,
Well,
yeah.
his mom is not interested in him having a relationship with Megan. If it had to do with race, then she would choose Megan. But she wants
But
Sarah.
she won't tell Sarah though. Also,
I don't think that has anything to do with race. I don't feel like that plays a
no.
part in this situation.
Hmm.
Next, we're back to Brittany and Marcelino, and Amanda shows up and hugs Brittany, which is exactly what should be happening 5 minutes before she gets married.
Yeah. We know that this is a television show and we need to create drama, and I'm sure that this is part of that, but she didn't need to be any part of this at all. She didn't need to be there. She didn't need to be a part of this.
Here's the thing, like, at this point, Brittany's been out of prison for 6 months. So, like, Scott and Lizzie are on 10 days. Brittany and Marcelino are on 6 months.
Yes.
So it is
Mhm.
possible they're creating drama to stay relevant so that they can stay on the show longer.
In the 2 seasons that we've done so far, thus far, um, the honestly, the 2 people who I have the most faith in, and we know that life turns out well for them, spoiler alert, is Brittany and, his name is escaping me, but who was Jonna's guy?
Garrett,
Uh, Garrett. Garrett and Brittany. They were fully committed to changing their lives, and they did. Yeah. Yeah, check him out.
I'll have to look him up.
Mhm.
He says the wedding is going to be small and intimate, and they have like red, black, and white as their colors, and it was so pretty. I just thought it all worked really
Yeah,
nicely together.
yeah. I never really liked the color red growing up, and it's because um my grandmother well, I come from a full-blown Sicilian Italian family, and red is the color that wards off evil. So my grandma had so much red in her house, and she would pin a red ribbon inside of all my dresses and my culottes and whatever to ward off evil. And so I always have had a bad kind of like vibe against red. Poor childhood memories, but I do like the combination of red, black, white. It is really aesthetically pleasing. It really is.
She says that she feels happy and she's so excited to marry him. And then they're there, and the preacher asks if anybody objects, and then they cut scene here,
Yeah.
leading you to think that that's actually going to happen.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. Oh boy. Um, Marcelino says he's looking forward to being Giovanni's stepdad. Brittany and her stepdad are walking down the aisle. It's just, there's a violin player. It's just so sweet. It's very sweet.
It is very sweet.
Hmm.
Next, we're back to Scott and Lizzie, and she comes to talk to him, and he says, despite everything, he still has a glimmer of hope that she will marry him. I
Oh
can't
my Lord.
imagine, like, he is so delusional at this point, and this is where we're talking about the difference between love and obsession. If it was
Hmm.
love, it would be completely different. He would be more concerned about what's best for her and not also like, I need to marry her. She has to be mine. And I'm not criticizing him for his stance. He's it's so frustrating.
Scott is very much the picture of insecurity, and I don't think that he is a bad looking guy. And for some reason, somewhere along the way, he just thinks he's a piece of shit without money. And I don't know where he's coming up with this, but I'm sure it comes from somewhere.
Yeah.
But
It's a sad situation.
he's a very nice guy, though. He's a nice guy. If he just found a woman who felt the same way about him, he could have a great life.
He would be more attractive if he stood up for himself.
Oh,
You know,
yeah.
to roll over
Yeah.
constantly and to give every single thing of yourself to your own detriment, that's where you run into problems, and it's not an attractive situation when somebody gives you too much, then it's suffocating.
Yeah.
She says that it was a lot for him to propose after 2 days, and he says he shouldn't have done that. Yeah, but
I'm
she
gonna
gives him
I'm
the
gonna agree.
oh yeah, I 100% agree. he
Yeah.
he just steamrolled through this thing.
Yeah.
But she gives him the ring back and says she can't be engaged to him.
Well, thank God she gave the friggin' ring back because I would not have thought she would have done that. Because, well, I mean, obviously, okay, she's following protocol where if you break off the engagement, you give the ring back. If they break off the relationship, then you keep the ring. So I'm shocked that she gave the ring. I'm gonna say it's probably just for show. Like they just had her, the producers had her do it. I don't feel like Lizzie would have ever given back anything of value.
I don't know, maybe if she was trying to save face, but I agree, she would probably have kept it and pawned it. She tells
Yeah,
him that
yeah, yeah.
she's willing to have a long distance friendship with him.
Right,
And he
right.
asks her if she'd be upset if he met someone. And she was like, no, not if you're happy. What she means is, yeah, leave me alone. But she also doesn't want that to happen either because then he doesn't give her anything.
Yeah, she wants him to be happy. Scott says this like very sad thing where he said, I've been looking for 40 years. And we don't know what his history is. It's not really been said. I'm going to take a wild stab in the dark that his lifetime, one and only love of his life was probably Adam's mom. Do you get that? from
That's what I
this.
would guess, and his heart was broken, and he just hasn't really recovered since then.
Yeah, I've loved two. He says, I loved two women in my life, and one was you.
He tells her that he's not going to leave her, and she's like, I mean, you have to. Like, this is the end. You have to go. You can't just say, no, I'm going to be with you. And this is when he starts flipping out, and he's like, it's all a lie. Like, you played me.
Mm-hmm. Come on, man. He knew. He flushes a cigarette and a phone down the toilet
I
on the
thought he flushed the
toilet.
ring.
I saw a phone and a cigarette.
Oh, I don't know. She tells Jasmine that she broke up with him, and Jasmine is very happy.
He just wants a flight home.
Back to Caitlin and Matt, he's out on bail and says he borrowed a car and didn't know it was stolen, so he doesn't think he'll have to face any charges. He'll beat these charges. There's nothing to worry about.
Now, we don't know what happened. Do you believe for 1 second that he didn't know that car was stolen?
Not even 1 second.
No.
So, being Matt, he did what he does, and he hasn't seen Caitlin in a week. She bailed him out, and he told her that he'd come home, but instead he went to Sam's.
Yep.
And when they cut to this, where he's telling this story, he's on his way to his mom's house to pick up more of his things.
Yep. Yeah. He asks Caitlin, "How are you?" And she says that Matt was attentive when he was in prison. Again, we hear this again. They were great when they were in prison because they had no fucking choice. It was their only escape from prison life, dude. Come on.
Right. Yeah, they quickly start fighting. She asks if there's anything to talk about, and he's like, nope. So, I mean, I guess that's just the end of it. I mean,
Yeah. Caitlin says she's going to get out of his mom's house. Well, again, I mean, if I was his mom and Caitlin was a good girl and I have this big house and it doesn't look like a small house and she's pulling her weight, I'd be like, all right, I'm not going to be alone. She's a good girl. She's working. She's contributing to bills. She's cleaning the house. I'd be like, just stay. You
yeah, but
know,
is
we don't
she
know.
is she contributing to
We
bills?
don't
Is she
know.
cleaning the
I
house?
doubt it. I
I
doubt
haven't,
it.
because she's
I'm just saying
saying like,
my circumstances would be if she was, I would let her stay, but I don't think she is.
well, they go outside of his mom's house and start arguing. I mean, what a great way to get the police called on you. And then she's sitting in the car crying, and he's just sitting there petting the dog. He's not bothered at all. You know, he's just kind of like, oh, well, we rushed. We rushed it. I think we
Yep.
rushed it a little bit. Yeah, you think?
Yep. The dog's name is Sparkles.
Next, we're back to Megan, Michael, and Sarah. Sarah calls Megan a bitch, and Megan
Oh,
says she's hurt by the lies and says she didn't do this to Sarah because she didn't even know she existed in
okay.
that capacity. She knew she existed, but she did not know that she had the title of his wife.
I get it, but Megan needed less fire. She needed less fire. She had I was really hoping that Megan would be more of a woman in the situation. She was too fiery. Do you agree?
No, I think she panicked and she's just not going to sit there and get beaten up and called
I
names.
mm,
She had a little bit of an attitude, but I also think she didn't know what to do. She found out some devastating news and was confronted aggressively. You know, she's in there just thinking, oh, like I said, her whole life is one belief. And in a split second, she finds out that that's not true. Now, that means essentially it should be over between her and Michael. Sarah is still married to him, still has a child, and is pregnant.
yeah.
Megan says she's not a homewrecker, and I would like to believe her. We have to see where things go from this point.
Yeah, I can't agree or disagree on that notion until we see where this goes. I'm hoping she's not. Let's just put it that way.
He was in a relationship with Megan when he married Sarah, and I think we might have mentioned this before, but it gets brought up again that when he chose to marry Sarah, he was already in that relationship with Megan.
Yeah. Yeah, and when he took her to Niagara Falls, she was already pregnant, and she tells her that. This like made me like a little bit nauseous because I was like, "Oh, please no. Please no. Please no." And of course, we went to a commercial when Sarah asks Megan if she's pregnant, and I was like,
Wouldn't that have been
"Please God, no.
awful?
Please God, no." I was like,
Right.
"Please no." Yeah.
I'm surprised she's not, but
But again, we like to say that we're pregnant after a week of having sexual intercourse, which we
she
know
knew.
you cannot tell after a
Right.
week, no matter what test.
Back to Clinton Tracy. She's waiting on the side of the road, and he comes and picks her up, as we knew he would.
So what I wrote down on my paper is Tracy lost a ton of weight, and I wrote in parentheses in all caps drugs because she looks awful,
It's
awful.
it's not just the weight loss. Like, she just doesn't look healthy on top of having lost all that weight.
Yeah, she looks fucking awful, man.
She says this is her last chance with him, and he makes her promise that she'll never leave him.
Yeah, her best grammatical speaking, she asks, "Was your parents mad?"
Yeah. He said she deserves a second chance, and then he proposes and puts her ring back on her finger.
Come on, man. I can't with these two.
With all of them, it's like you guys just keep digging, and you go, this isn't good, and then you keep digging. He tells her she's lost too much weight, and he likes them big. He tells her to gain weight.
Where I'm bringing this back to is the fact that when she got out of prison, he and Dave said, "Oh, my husband said when we were watching the episode, did he call her fat?" Because he was a little bit he was a little bit exasperated. He's like, "Oh, you're bigger than I thought," but like I didn't realize that that was like a good thing for him because he's like, "Oh, you're bigger than I," like I thought it was like a bad thing, but he was really like, "Oh yeah, a woman with weight on."
So, yeah, like you said, she asks him if his parents are mad, and he answers her and he says, yeah, but you can show them that you're a great person and they'll love
Oh,
you.
sure. Right.
Right. So they arrive at home, and he carries her over the threshold. No problem, because she weighs 5 pounds. And I have that she pulls her shirt up and sort of dances around, and then this is where I make the comment, is she using? But I think we've established that more than likely that's the case.
I'm gonna say it's motherfucking crack mom.
Back to Megan, Michael, and Sarah. Sarah asks Megan if she's pregnant, and she says no. Whoo!
Oh God. I mean, I can't tell you how relieved I was because I fully thought she was gonna say yes. I don't know about you. I know you've seen this before, and I'm new to it, but I really thought she was gonna say she was pregnant. I really did.
She points out that she was lied to and manipulated, and the sole responsibility of what happened doesn't lie on her, because even though Sarah was lied to and manipulated, Megan also was, and that's
Okay.
true.
Okay, I'll give her that. Okay, I'll give her that.
Now, Megan does say she feels like he defiled her virginity, and I would say that's, I mean, she's what, 30 years old or something? She's waited
Ugh,
that long?
I'm so grossed out by this. Yes. Okay, whatever. I'm so grossed out. Stop it.
It's just payback for your poop talk.
Ugh. Yeah.
Sarah asks if she's talked to his family, and she said that she had met his mom. Now, you know that had to sting.
Oh man. I really wanted more in this episode to come of that, but you could like if fire could come out of someone's ears and eyes and mouth at that moment, it would have.
Now, Megan says she deserves to hear his excuse. I can understand that. I mean, she deserves to confront him as well.
Yeah.
And Sarah did say several times while they're talking, she's like, I just want to know all the facts. I want to know the truth. I want you to respect me as his wife and tell me everything. And Megan's like, oh, I'll tell you whatever you want to know. Like, what do you want to know?
Yeah.
So Sarah leaves, and Megan says she's pissed off and she could easily kill him. I bet you in that moment she could have too.
Yeah, I really wanted this to be like, all right, look, we didn't know about each other. You tell me what you know, I'll tell you what I know. I really wanted it to be that from the very beginning, and it wasn't, but I feel like it is in the end. So I changed my mind a little bit.
Back to Brittany and Marcelino, and she's yelling at the prison, and the guard tells her not to make contact. She says, can I wave? And he says, you're an ex-con, so no.
Well, Brittany is the person who has the least chance of going back there. So, yeah, I do it. I do it. I maybe drive by screaming out the window with my middle finger
And she does. She
and
flips him
like
off while he
go.
records it.
Yeah, but like I'd be like fast about it. I'd be like, go.
Back to Scott and Lizzie. They've been broken up for a few months at this point, and she's living in Portage, Wisconsin.
Weird. I do. Where did that come from? She knocking on fences for horses? Like, is that where she's from? I missed it. I don't know.
So I don't think that they said. Maybe that's where Jasmine's from. It's hard to say. They didn't specify as to why she chose to live there.
So random.
She did say that she's had a job for 7 weeks and she just got a promotion, which is pretty impressive to get a promotion after 7 weeks.
Yeah, it's a factory. We don't know what kind of factory, whatever. He said she's always been her own boss because she was a stripper. I don't know that you're your own boss when you're a stripper. Let's just say, I mean, I think you give some of your money to the boss above you, but whatever.
She mentions that she has her own place. Now, where did she get the money after only working for 7 weeks to put down a deposit in first month's rent?
I don't, not working from a factory. Let's just put it that way.
Does she have a second job, perhaps?
Yeah, well, the boss says she was torn about hiring a felon, and I understand, but she probably got those kickbacks for hiring a felon on her taxes. But she said Scott's a piece of crap anyway, and I really wanted to reach through the screen and punch her in the damn face at this point.
Right. She says her relationship with Jasmine is much better and she feels like she's succeeding and that she is never going back to prison. I do not know if she ever returns to prison, but I wouldn't be surprised.
She doesn't, from what I see, but in this particular episode, she does say she lives paycheck to paycheck, and yeah, working in a factory, you probably do, especially if you're a non-skilled laborer in a factory. But I thought this was hysterical because Scott is in the scene with Scott. He calls, he says, "Hey, Jasmine," and I'm like,
Right.
"What?" Right? And they did that on purpose, and it's his new quote unquote girlfriend. Shocker, his girlfriend needed a new bike, and I'm sure that Scott provided it for her.
Well, I think he fixes bikes. So as opposed to just like going out and buying a new one, because they met at a gas station and like with this time when they're coming to record, they had only known each other for about 2 months.
Yeah, I mean, that's what everyone's girl's dream is that they meet their love of their life at a gas station.
You can marry more. I mean, meet them wherever. It doesn't matter where you meet somebody. It just matters who they are.
Doesn't matter. Doesn't matter if you meet them in a next to a dumpster fire. I don't know.
He said that she's a true and good woman, which I think is something that Lizzie definitely lacks.
I hope so. I mean, again, they're like he says that he and Jasmine are not having sex, they're just friends. I want to hope this isn't another Lizzie situation. I'm going to say no.
Just the way that she talks about him, I would say that it's not a Lizzie situation because she says that he's very kind and generous and that Lizzie took advantage of him, but he's coming into the light. So she's watching out for him and she seems to recognize, like, Lizzie doesn't say nice stuff about Scott.
No. But one idea of generousness is another person's. You know what I mean? Like it's like
Right.
her idea of him being generous could be he bought her a Tim Hortons coffee and fixed her bike. Lizzie's idea of him being generous is buying her a $40,000 vehicle, a $400,000 house, and $2,000 worth of clothing. You know what I mean? So like it's different. I think it's different here with this scenario.
He says he's happy, and she says, "To death do us part." So that
Yeah.
was an interesting kind of comment.
Mhm.
Next, we're back to Megan, Michael, and Sarah tells him that he's going to be done with Megan because that's not what he wants anymore.
Yeah. Sarah is confronting Michael. She wants nothing to do with him. She hangs up on him. You know, she said you had your world at your fingertips, and he did, and you've proved everyone right, but you've proved me wrong. So everyone thought that he was a POS, and she thought he was going to prove everything wrong and prove her right that he's not a POS. That's what I took from that.
He told her that he was going to break it off with her, but he hadn't had the opportunity to do so yet.
Come on, man. No.
We've talked about this before, but she tells him that she's his best chance at survival,
Yeah.
but says she doesn't want him back in the house. Understandable. I would never want to speak to him again. Like,
Mhm.
it would be hard to co-parent at that point. Yeah, I would be so pissed.
Yeah, it depends on how much his family wants to put up with. If Sarah doesn't want to have anything to do with him, is his family is his family going to take him in because he's not going to be able to get out of jail and now for the parole violation and just walk into a great life. I mean, what's going to happen here?
His mom would let him stay with her. I don't think there would be a problem with that.
But he's also got another baby coming and like there's something called child support. So what's going to happen here?
She tells him to get a place with Megan, and he was like, "Okay, can I talk to Aviana? Could you possibly convey that you don't give a shit less?"
Yeah. I don't know what that was all about. Him just like last ditch efforting. I don't know what that was.
God, I don't know. Sarah said he betrayed both her and Aviana, and she's been married to a stranger and she wants a
Yeah.
divorce. Now, I hope that this holds out and she does want a divorce because she deserves a divorce. She deserves to have a life where she can be happy and raise those two kids.
I can tell you that I felt that statement in my soul where she said I've been married to a stranger. That is a terrible feeling and I have felt that. And I like at that moment I was like, "Ooh, that hit me."
Next up, Brittany and Marcelino. And the minister asks if anybody objects to the marriage, and nobody answers. So now Marcelino says Amanda and Brittany are now just friends. And
Yeah.
Amanda brought her new boyfriend to the wedding, which was interesting because I had thought that she was just a lesbian. I didn't realize that she was bisexual.
Me too. I didn't know. Me
Yeah.
too.
So I was a little surprised by that. I would feel like if she is bisexual, she would have a better understanding of where Brittany is coming from.
Yeah.
So that's, I
Yeah.
think, why it surprised me as much as it did. But Brittany and Marcelino read their vows and he cries. He's a very emotional guy. And
Yeah.
then they're pronounced man and wife.
Yeah, so cute. I liked it.
They have a reception and Giovanni is dancing. Adorable. She says it's a drastic change to go from somewhere so dark to something so beautiful. And I was so happy for her because she deserves this. Like, she's been fighting her
Yeah.
whole life. She deserves a little bit of peace.
Yep.
And then they show little Gio's face and it's covered in frosting, which was adorable.
Yeah, I like how that well, I mean, I know he's young, but he's so accepting of everything. And I feel like that's beyond his years to be so accepting of everything.
He does seem so mature for such a little guy.
Mhm. Yeah.
So we jump back over to Megan, Michael, and Sarah. Megan went home and talks about finding out about his lies. So Megan did. She jumped, like, she gathered her stuff and jumped on the first plane and went home. If Sarah had expected any other reaction, I think that would be one that she would be satisfied with.
Yeah.
And she tells her dad everything that happened, and he is pissed.
Man, that dad. He's not shocked, though. You know he's not shocked.
At all. Not at all. Even though he tells her, I told you so, he does feel bad for her, and he wants her to be more careful.
Yeah, I think she's got a good dad.
I think so too. So her dad's name is Donnie, and he asks her if she's okay, and she cries and says no, and he comforts her just like a dad should.
Hmm. He's letting his daughter make mistakes. He knows he can only control her so much. She is an adult.
So Donnie tells her to lose Michael's number, and she says she doesn't want anything to do with him, but she wants answers. And Donnie tells her that she doesn't need answers, and he is so right.
She got all her answers. She doesn't need any more because all the other answers she's going to get are lies.
Exactly. Complete lies. Nothing out of Michael's mouth is going to be the truth. And if it is, you wouldn't be able to recognize it as the truth because it's going to be littered with lies. She says she's done with him and they will never be together. But he calls her during her interview with the producers and she answers him and asks him if he's married. And he's like, oh, I'm not trying to have that conversation. So she hangs up on him. What do you mean I'm not trying to have that conversation? What?
I can't.
It's like telling Sarah, I don't have time for this conversation. The fuck you don't. What are you doing?
Yeah, I can't.
So, yeah, she hangs up on him. And from a video visit call, he says that he doesn't know what a husband is and makes a bunch of excuses and then sends a message to Sarah saying he wants things to go back to how they were at the
Come on.
beginning. And he still loves her.
Oh, I really hope he doesn't.
But he also tells Megan that he's sorry and tells her that he loves her too. So that's where we wrap up this episode. The updates they give: Matt is awaiting trial and living with his new girlfriend. Poor Caitlin.
Shocking.
Shocking,
Not.
right? Brittany and Marcelino had a healthy baby girl and bought a new house. So Gio was right.
Yeah.
Clint's ex-wife fired him, and he's working for his parents at their meat market. They plan on renewing their vows, him and Tracy.
I loved that, and I would love to know why his ex-wife fired him, but I can take a wild guess.
Scott is working to pay off his bills and is taking things slow with Jasmine. I hope things work out for them. He deserves somebody good.
Yeah.
Lizzie is upset he moved on so quickly. You could just fuck right off.
I just want to, yeah, whatever.
Both Megan and Sarah are still in contact with Michael. Michael is out of jail, and Sarah gave birth to a baby girl named Rain.
Yeah, I don't know if we continue on with this story, but man, I don't feel like either one of them gives up, Megan or Sarah.
Who's your VIP for this week?
Hey, I'm gonna go with Giovanni for predicting the sex of his sibling. Because I don't think he knew.
Now, this is the hard one for the episode, though. Who's your POS?
I am very torn. I am very torn between it being Lizzie or Michael. And I really want to go with Lizzie, but I feel like it's Michael.
So, my VIP is Sarah, just for getting through what she got through.
Yeah.
And my POS is Michael because Lizzie at least left. She left him alone, but she didn't, I guess. I guess she didn't because she did come back, you know? Didn't she?
No, well, I don't know. She moved on. She got her job. She's working in factory. I don't know.
Oh, that's right. She was just pissed off that he had moved on.
She was pissed off that he moved on. So I'm gonna say that's why I got to go with Michael because Lizzie did leave him be.
Yeah, I'm gonna go with Michael then.
Yeah.
Yeah, definitely. So that's about it for this week's episode. If you enjoyed the podcast, head over to Apple or Spotify to rate and review. If you'd like to continue the conversation, join our group on Facebook at Love After Lockup, Locked Down. Listen every Wednesday wherever you find your podcasts and keep those notifications on to be the first to catch bonus episodes.
And in the meantime, don't fall in love.
And don't get locked up.
First date at Walmart, keeping it low. Told the clerk, don't judge me, I'm on parole. I brought roses, okay, 1 rose from a gas station. She said, oh babe, now that's validation. We be vibing in a halfway suite. Microwave dinners, romance elite. She my ride or die, she brought me a phone. Even snuck it in once, pre-release song. She hold me down like a key-o with charm. Except she don't mace me or twist my arm. We write vows in Sharpie on my court docs. Judge said no contact, but we beat the clocks. Love after lockup, cuffed and proud. Matching jumpsuits, now we rockin' the crowd. She said, don't mess up, I said, bet. Now we're TikTok stars with no regrets. So here's the love and second chance thrill. From a concrete bed to Netflix and chill. They said, don't catch feelings, but I caught a case of butterflies, girl, not just in one place. Ankle monitor beep. Oops, curfew gotta bounce.